This project was funded by the Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Program of the USDA, commonly known as SARE, and represents the work of 3 farms and 12 interns working and learning together for the last 2 growing seasons. This project includes several key ingredients: funding from the USDA, several local farms, and lots of interns. Although the focus on the North Central region, an internship program such as this can be created for any area, we hope that the following presentation will give you the tools and templates to try it. Our goal when we applied for the SARE grant was to create a curriculum that any farmer would have free and easy access to, that could be used to easily add an educational component to an on-farm internship. Intrinsic in this goal is to increase farm internship opportunities for young adults interested in farming as a career or otherwise, and to make these internships more valuable to both the intern and the farmer. We as small farm operators believe the future of food security is in small local food production steeped in sustainable practices. Recent research on farmers from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency states that less than 10% of the U.S. population claim farming as an occupation, and only about 2% of those actually live on farms. 60% of those claiming farming as an occupation are 55 or older. When I read these statistics, I'm concerned that the small farms are an endangered species. With the average farmer today approaching retirement age, it seems to me that if small farms are to survive, we need to train new farmers quickly, farmers that can run these farming operations using modern, sustainable methods. It's also important to us that the curriculum we design be rigorous enough to allow students to be able to get college credit if they want to. We believe experienced farmers are a big part of the solution when it comes to preparing for the future of agriculture. And we hope that this presentation will encourage you to begin an internship program. Let's meet the farmers who participated. Well, the first farm is mine. Again, I'm Theri Neimeier, and my farm is Bertrand Farm. That's me with my 2 grandkids. We're located in southern Michigan on an 11-acre farm. We use organic and sustainable practices, but we're not currently certified organic. Education is central to our mission. We run a 60-member CSA. We're going to be starting our 12th year this season. We have 3 acres in vegetable production, almost 2 acres in perennial fruits and berries, and we have small livestock on pasture and grain, including pigs, chickens, and turkeys. Our season extension practices include a small heated seed starting greenhouse, an unheated 2,100 square foot hoop house, and lots of raised beds. In 2009, we began including interns in our production. Our educational components include youth summer camps, working membership CSA, cooking, preserving, gardening, and farming classes.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Wolfe, and my farm is Prairie Winds Nature Farm, located in northern Indiana. My husband and I have been managing 85 acres of formerly row crop land since 1992. 20 of the acres is in fenced pastures for rotational grazing, and about 65 is in native prairie, wetland, and woods that are managed for wildlife and pollinator habitat. We graze livestock, including heritage breeds of cattle and sheep, and we have a small working CSA, which includes eggs, honey, vegetables, and fruit. We also host visitors and do day camps for kids. I'm interested in permaculture, and I enjoy having interns help out with all of our projects.
Ed Hartman couldn't be with us today, but he and his wife Rachel have 5 acres under organic production, including 5 large hoop houses, 2 of them with heat. They sell their fruits and vegetables to 75 CSA members, and they also sell at local farmers markets and restaurants. They specialize in year-round greens. Ben also writes as a sideline for a few publications on farming topics. He feels it takes an average of 7 years to become efficient and work out the kinks of a sustainable farming venture, and he believes that internships can cut that time in half. He's very dedicated to transferring what he knows to his interns. Over the last 2 growing seasons, we have been working with our interns to create this educational component. Each intern was assigned 1 or 2 farm practices to research, and they were given an outline on the topic. We asked them then to be creative and to use as much media as they needed to thoroughly teach the subject to anyone that might be interested. They created the initial PowerPoints, and then those PowerPoints went through several layers of editing before we called them a finished product. Each of these farms you've met today, each of these three farms, include interns in our farming enterprises because we believe the future of food security depends on increasing the number of sustainable food-producing farms in the Midwest and really all over America. This beginner farmer curriculum is meant to be a resource for farmers in the North Central region and beyond who are running successful food-producing enterprises and would like to add an educational internship benefiting both the farmer, and the intern. I'd like to let Charlotte guide us through the components of the internship program and through one of the modules to let you get a feel for the content that they provide. These modules can be used as self-tutorials or overhead presentations. They would be beneficial in non-farming venues as well as farming. We consider them great educational resources for the classroom inside and for the outdoor classroom. Take it from here, Charlotte.
Thank you, Theri. In designing a farm curriculum for your interns, we suggest that you use all or some of the following elements. These would include, in the internship components, curriculum modules, hands-on workshops, working calendars, which will be specific to each farm, a media library, and local farm tours. First, I'll give you a quick tour of one of the curriculum modules that we have developed so you can get a feel for the content that is presented. The example module we've chosen is on composting, which is the basis of every farm using organic methods. The actual module consists of 31 slides, but I've just chosen 8 to show you today. The title slide indicates the topic, and that is followed by learning objectives. We then list definitions, which can be short or long depending on the topic. And many of the slides contain links to websites where the information was obtained and where you can go for more information. In this case, the link is at the bottom of the slide. In other cases, it's inserted within the text as appropriate. We include many colorful and informative graphics whenever possible, just to hold the interest of the viewer. And the material is presented in a non-technical way so that anyone can understand it from high school level on up. Since video is an enjoyable way to learn and young people are very much into watching videos, we include links to several online videos in each module. In this case, below the picture is a link to the video showing the proper compost turning technique. Then we have review questions, which encourage thinking about the topic after viewing the module. And finally, we list some additional resources and links that are located at the end of each module. The PowerPoint presentations can be used as is during training for interns or prior to starting the actual work with your interns. You can pick and choose which ones you'd like to present as a scheduled class or workshop, or you can adapt the PowerPoints to represent your own farm. You can do that yourself if you're tech savvy, or if your intern is a young person, then they will likely be more skilled on the computer and can undertake that as a project in and of itself. When developing the PowerPoints, our interns took turns presenting their topics to the larger group and then got feedback. I thought this was one of the ways we really got the best finished product, was through peer critique. You can follow up viewing the modules with hands-on workshops, which will actually get work done on the farm while teaching new skills. After viewing each module, the students should be able to have a working knowledge of the topic and be able to discuss and proceed with hands-on work with their host farmer. So this saves a lot of time explaining things. Most farms have working calendars of various kinds, or perhaps it is all in your head, but interns benefit greatly from having a written resource. Here I show the tasks, which are a to-do list, if you will, for a 2-week period from June 1st to June 15th, and I've listed all the tasks having to do with 4 different groups of tasks, including livestock, garden, visitors, and other tasks. And this task list is posted at a visible location so that everyone can be on the same page with what needs to get done over that time period. The media library can include books, farming newspapers, magazines, and movies. We made sure to have these accessible on a shelf so that they could be consulted during work time or during downtime. During our internship program, we hosted several movie days, and these were well attended on some very hot days. This also allowed interns to have a bit of social time together, getting to know interns from different farms. The other thing that we did that was really beneficial was that we took the interns on tours of local farms, including each of the participating farms. Giving interns as much exposure to different farms seems to be a highlight of the curriculum. The modules are the heart of the instructional resources, and these can be used in conjunction with these other elements to make a complete and more diverse educational experience for interns if the farmer desires.
A farmer could also use these as a scheduled class or workshop that the farmer charges money for. The idea is to adapt or rework these to make them more specifically apply to your own farm. You can do this yourself by changing the pictures and the YouTubes into your own homemade videos as well as pictures from your own farm. Or you could have your interns do it as a farm project, which some of them need. If they're seeking credit for the experience, they often need a farm project.
That's right, Theri. The modules can be used in step with your farm schedule. I know for some of you that may be in your head, but I once again encourage you to write it down so that your interns, and probably you, will have a better idea of the to-do list you are working off of. The modules can be viewed prior to the activities so that your helpers know what to expect and can be better able to assist you. So Theri, are there other resources for interns that you discovered while working on this curriculum project?
Actually, yes. There's a lot of local resources available as well. Theri actually has a great site to go to, and for one thing, there's a number of internship handbooks. We're noting one here. It's full of great information on safety issues, logistics of hosting interns, liability issues, payroll, housing. There's a lot of reusable forms as far as contracts go. This is previously work funded by Theri that is beneficial to any internship program, especially if you're just starting out. It gives you some things to think about that you might not have otherwise thought about. Your local extension agent can be a valuable resource as well. And we're giving you the link here to locate one closest to you and listed a couple that we use, the closer ones to us. Extension offices are directed by the nearest land-grant university. So, for example, my extension office is directed by Michigan State University, and it's in Benton Harbor, about 15, 20 minutes from here. Charlotte's closer to the Purdue University land-grant school, and she works more with them. Purdue recently hosted a small farms conference that she attended, and I know they plan on doing more of those. I'm sure Michigan State has some offerings as well. So this might be a good avenue to explore your local extensions. Your NRCS office presents topics at field days and seminars as well. You can locate them in your phone book. We have our district conservationists here today to talk a little bit about some of the things that they offer. That's your Natural Resource and Conservation Service, commonly known as the NRCS. I'll introduce you to Deb Knapp and let her take it from here.
Thanks. We have several programs that may be of use to beginning farmers, and we host field days they can attend and provide research bulletins on a variety of topics. We also offer guidance on applying for beginning farmer grants and incentives.
Yeah, can you explain a few of those programs to us?
Sure. First, one of the most important aspects of what NRCS offers is that we walk a person's farm with them and develop a very site-specific conservation plan based on their goals and their objectives for their farm. From that plan, we know what conservation practices are needed on the farm and which programs would be best for them. One of the programs we offer is an easement program, and that restores and protects certain habitats such as grasslands, forest land, and wetlands.
Having land set aside for wildlife and pollinator habitats is a very important part of sustainable farming.
Yes, and these programs can be a source of revenue for the farmer. For example, prairie plantings can be used as pollinator habitat for the beehives. Typically, haying is not permitted in our programs, but during the drought of 2012, we did grant permission to hay a portion of prairie grassland to provide emergency forage for the livestock. I believe Charlotte used prairie hay to keep her animals fed over the winter when the hayfields didn't produce. Depending on which easement program you're enrolled in, the farmer will either receive a yearly payment or a one-time lump sum payment, which helps offset the revenue loss from not farming it. Another type of program that's available is our Working Lands program. And this program offers technical and financial assistance to producers who are installing conservation practices, such as this grass waterway, that promotes soil health and water quality, which is the end goal of our conservation practices. We really support this curriculum since it has so many of the elements that we emphasize in our programs.
Thanks, Deb. I know that I really enjoyed attending a field day near my farm last summer. Charlotte and I both did. Down the road, you hosted a cover crop field day. Interesting. Let's take a look at another perspective, the intern perspective. Interns can add an exciting component to the workforce on the farm. I've enjoyed their energy and hard work and have learned a lot from them as well. They're always coming at us, especially the students from agricultural backgrounds as far as school goes. They're bringing a lot of great ideas that some, that we haven't heard before. So there's a great exchange of knowledge that goes on. Let's take a minute to hear the intern perspective. Colleen Bell has been an intern at Bertrand Farm for the last 9 months. Her first 6 months were mostly concentrated in food production and beginning some of the module work. And the last 3 months have really concentrated on the module work. She's been really helpful in some of the editing, the layers of editing that have gone on. Hey, Colleen, what can you say about the experience this has been as far as the transfer of knowledge about food production and how the PowerPoint component has contributed to the overall education? Just give us a lowdown.
Okay, I'm Colleen, and this internship has taught me so much. I knew next to nothing about farming and growing food when I started here. Unlike many of the interns who joined farms, I did not have an agricultural background, degree, or college courses. I was changing careers and looking into farming. Luckily for me, this program is very thorough, so that helped. The modules were especially helpful for me because I was able to go through them at my own pace and look up the many terms and concepts that I wasn't sure about as I went through them online. Many of my intern peers had more background knowledge in this department, and they could explain things to me, and so did my farmer, Theri. When I started and learned about the modules that we'd be reviewing and creating, I remember thinking that it would be a separate thing from the field work, something that would just keep me busy on rainy days, hot afternoons, and in the evenings. Instead, though, I quickly learned how the information I was getting from the modules and all the research that was involved with them was really integral to the work that I was doing outside. I felt more comfortable using the tools, setting up the drip lines, turning the compost, watching for insects, basically everything I became more comfortable with after I'd gone through a module about it. And I didn't feel so intimidated about the textbooks and manuals anymore either. One thing that I really liked about my internship that other farmers might want to consider was the staggered intern start date. I started a few weeks after 2 other interns, and they were able to teach me what they had learned and really put it into the very beginner terms that were so helpful for me.
Great, thanks, Colleen. Just to follow up a little on that, would you say that the internship has prepared you or given you the confidence to move into a farming venture?
Absolutely. I know I still have a lot to learn, but I'm very confident in my ability to learn it and eventually run my own operation because I've seen it up close now and I've been a part of it too. When I see how much I've learned in the past 9 months, I'm amazed. This program taught me not only the content-specific knowledge, but the overarching farm needs and themes. And I feel like I've been able to develop a feel for it. Also, going through these modules, I've learned the best information sources that are out there, like you were just going over, the NRCS, the SARE, Moses, my local university extension website, and I'm comfortable using those sources. Also, I found a lot of really great YouTube videos out there. One other thing that I would want to add here, something I'd want to tell farmers who are considering taking on interns is to try it. Many of the potential interns, you meet with the potential interns, and you might be surprised on how much help you can really get. Everyone I've known who's wanted to start a farm internship really wants to work hard, to give a lot and get a lot out of it. Also remember that potential interns like me maybe coming from very different places and looking for different experiences. And some of them are going to be intimidated by all the new concepts, and they're really going to appreciate a program like this. If they don't, and they're not looking forward to all of the education that goes with it, maybe then be wary. I interviewed with 6 farms before I decided on Bertrand Farm, and when I did choose to come here, it was because Theri and I really clicked. I knew she was willing to work with me at my very beginner level, so I really think that finding someone who will listen to you and you feel like you can trust on your farm is going to be easier than you think. Thanks for listening to my perspective. I hope it's been helpful.
Thanks, Colleen. Oh, I see that there's a call-in. Maybe let's just take a question before we move out of this.
Yeah, hi, my name is Anna, and I'm interested in hearing about sustainable farming. How do I find out more about the internships?
Oh, well, I'm glad you're interested. I think there are a few ways that you can find great internships. I know that I advertise or market my internships on my own website, as well as some well-known websites, ATRA, the Wolfe site, farm-based education site. And I think if you just went into even Google sustainable farming internships, you'd probably find a lot of options out there. I don't know, Charlotte, what do you do to attract interns?
The word of mouth gets out that you're interested in having interns, and you would be amazed at how many people will call you and ask for the opportunity to learn about sustainable farming. But these sites that we've posted are the ones that I've posted my information on, and I've gotten plenty of calls from people interested.
How about you, Colleen? What did you do in going about looking for internship opportunities?
Well, I started first at the Wolfe site, and I also looked at the ATRA website. And so I started to notice farms that were posted a couple of times, and then I went right to those websites, and I, was looking for pictures and just descriptions, trying to find ones that really seemed to be what I needed. And then I made the phone calls and started going out, meeting the farmers, and seeing what the operations were like. And then eventually the right fit just became really clear.
And I guess I would just interject, this is Theri from Bertrand Farm, that as a farmer posting your opportunities, I think the more specific you can be will help you with the weeding out process of finding that good fit. So I think, like Colleen said, if you can give a lot of pictures, a lot of description to the actual work expected, the number of hours you're expecting, and what you're giving in return, whether it's a stipend and housing and food, whether it's a hourly wage, I think the more information you can give, the better chance of weeding out your interns and making that good fit. Let's go on. So let's just talk a little bit about how you access these PowerPoint presentations. We've made them available through the Bertrand Farm website, and as you see on the screen here, if you just click into that, you will find the full list that's available. You'll see that we come right into the page that they're listed, and if you scroll down, what we have available right now is listed. We hope to increase the topics as we go on and add interns and intern projects. But this is what we have available now, and just by double-clicking on any of the topics here, you'll come to the full presentation. And you can use that as an overhead presentation. You can assign those as self-tutorials. And then, of course, we also will have it available for ordering online or for sending in an order. You can get the flash drive copy of all modules available. Right now we have 24 or 25 that'll be available. And by buying the flash drive, you're able to swap out the pictures for your own farm pictures, add your own YouTubes, and to change things up a little to make them more specific for your farm. You might find that to be a more exact tool in pre-educating your interns to your farm. Or you might just want to use it as is, in which case it's available free with easy access, both at the Bertrand Farm website and the SARE website.
At this time, I just want to say thanks so much for joining us today. We hope that our work will contribute to your work and that we together will bring in the next generation of farmers that are both knowledgeable and ready to go in food production. Just want to mention major contributors, of course, SARE, and the website is listed here where you can find our project. And then also the cost for this presentation was underwritten by Prairie Winds Nature Farm, and that's Charlotte's farm, and there's a website that you can go and check out her farm. And I just want to let you know that any further information you might like, you can contact me at bertrandfarminc@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to answer any questions or help you in whatever way I can. So at this time, we're going to be signing off and hoping that we've excited you and encouraged you and inspired you to go on and be internship educators. Have a great day.